from the News Channel 5 network. This is SportsLine.
Hey there and welcome inside a special edition of SportsLine here on News Channel 5 Plus. I am Steve Lehman. Thanks for joining us tonight as we look back on the introductory press conference of new Titans permanent head coach Mike Mularkey and new general manager John Robinson. The hires came down last week to a lot of upheaval, frankly. Several fans disappointed in the fact that the team will retain Mularkey as the head coach moving forward now permanently. John Robinson's a guy that spent a lot of time cutting his teeth in the Patriots organization, has spent the last 2 years in a high-profile role with the Buccaneers, but now gets the keys to a franchise back at his home state. He grew up in Union City, Tennessee. Now he's the general manager for the Tennessee Titans. Those two guys yesterday introduced by team president Steve Underwood, himself named permanent team president just over a week or so ago. But those three key figures in the top positions of the Titans franchise sat down on Monday to talk about it all. And we will play that press conference for you here tonight.
And it feels good to be home. Really feels good to be home. Can't thank the good Lord enough for guiding me in my journey throughout this football life. Especially to Amy, Kenneth, the entire Adams family. Words, thank you, are not enough. I'm eternally grateful for the opportunity that you have given me. Not only to be the general manager, but to work with Coach Mularkey. To my family, my wife Jamie, daughters Taylor and Bailey, thank you for your support, your love, and most importantly, your understanding of the time constraints of professional football. To my dad, mom, and sister Allison, I love you guys. Thank you so much, Dad and Mom, for raising me the right way, teaching me to work hard. Your parenting is the reason that I'm here today. My sister Allison, thank you for being my receiver, running back, and about 4 other positions in our front yard football drills. Some people along the way that I'd like to say thank you to. My high school coaches, Randy Barnes, and Barry Duncan, thanks for all the lessons you taught me, Coach. To Mike Hutchin, the trusted confidant there in my little hometown, thank you. My college coach, Jay Thomas, who's like an older brother to me, can't say thank you enough to Jay for all that he taught me about football and about life. To Mr. Kraft and the entire Kraft family, thank you for letting me be a part of a truly special organization. Scott Pioli for taking a chance on a young linebackers coach at Nicholls State University. Thomas Dimitroff and Nick Casario, not only for your tutelage in the world of personnel, but for your friendship. To Coach Belichick, thank you so much for the discussions that we had about football. Thank you for including me in the process of the Patriot Way, and thank you for letting me observe really what it means to build a team. To the Glazer family in Tampa, thank you so much for the opportunity you gave me to saddle up with Jason Light there. The future certainly looks bright there with a lot of the young players we were able to add to that football team. And last but certainly not least, to Jason Light, the general manager in Tampa. Jason put his neck on the line for me 14 years ago when I was a young coach and recommended me to the Patriot organization. He's been a true friend throughout the profession. Then he did the same thing 2 years ago when he offered me a chance to come to Tampa as his personnel director. Jason, thanks again for allowing me to lead the personnel department there for you. And most importantly, thank you for your friendship. Our goal here is to win. Bottom line. That's a measuring stick that all franchises are measured by. Mike and I have an aligned vision of what we want this team to look like. We want tough players. We want coachable players. We want smart players. And most importantly, we want players with a team-first attitude. My role here is to ensure that we find those players. I will coach the personnel staff on the type of players that we want and identify the guys that are true fits of what we're looking for in a Titan. Thank you.
I think for me, Mike is a perfect fit for our organization. He's a perfect fit with John and a perfect fit for our owner. And we're very pleased to have him with us as our new head coach. We're looking forward to restoring our franchise, as I've mentioned, and just can't say enough good things about Mike in that regard. And maybe most importantly, his shared vision with Amy and with our new general manager.
You didn't. I wanted to thank you and Amy, Kenneth, John, and really Steve through the interview process. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to lead your team, to lead this football team. Like John, I'm going to thank my family, my wife, Betsy, my two sons, Patrick and Shane, and all my family members down in Florida. They've been with me by my side for the last 30 years in the National Football League, and could not have done it without them. I'm thrilled to have a fresh start with this football team. I love working for this organization. I was put in a challenging position, and I accepted it midway through this past year, and tried to run with it and see if I could do something and make a difference quickly with a team, and I feel like I did that. I learned a lot in these last 9 weeks. I felt like I had some ideas prior to, but I learned a lot these last 9 weeks of the season. I saw a lot. I saw things that needed to be changed. Couldn't change them. I can now. You'll see that in a number of areas. But John and I, we have not worked together before, but we will work closely together from this point on. We've had really very good discussions on the vision we have for this football team. For our fans, we believe we can bring a championship to this city with the same vision. We have talked about it from day one, of what it's going to take. And it's very similar. It's what John just said. You heard me say that the first time I got in front of you when the coaching change took place. We want smart, tough, physical players, coachable, and accountable. And that's what John and I will do. We'll work together to find those players. But you will see change happen, and I'm thrilled that I get a chance to do that. I'm very, very thankful for the opportunity and ready to move forward in a positive direction.
You told us you had a list of 150, upward of 155 candidates. You just told us that the search for John was the most exhaustive. Why was the search to fill Mike's chair nowhere near as exhaustive? And on that list of 155 people, did you only see 2 outside candidates who were worthy of being spoken to, or were you turned down on a regular basis?
We were never turned down by anyone that we asked to interview for. Well, we did get one turned down with an explanation from one of the GM candidates, but I think he turns down most everyone. No, we had many agents and representatives ask to interview. Amy had listened to interviews with candidates for head coach over several days. We added one candidate at the last minute. Somewhere during that process, I think it coalesced for Amy, and she had made a decision. She already knew Mike. She had a comfort level with Mike, but she wanted to reach out and look around to make sure that there was not any other viable candidates for her in terms of our club and where we were going. John was also in all of those interviews, and I think all of us agreed several interviews into the process that we had found the right person to lead our club forward. Incidentally, the list that you mentioned was an aggregation of virtually everyone in the league who might be available. We narrowed that list. I think I may have also mentioned this during the first press conference, to a group much smaller than that as we sort of move forward in the process. But that didn't, I don't think I ever suggested we were going to interview 155 people.
Suggested you're going to interview more than 2 from outside?
I don't remember making that suggestion, but we interviewed 4 total candidates and had conversations, of course, about many others.
Steve, can you make it, I thought earlier, did you say that you had 10 candidates?
We had 6 candidates that we interviewed for general manager and 4 that we interviewed for head coach, a total of 10 interviews, which we felt comfortable with in terms of both jobs with the people that we had interviewed. The 6 people that we interviewed, for example, for general manager, 3 of them had already been GMs in the league, and I think that all 3 of the others, now that John has become a general manager, the other 2 gentlemen will also someday be GMs in the National Football League.